Our first week of Drag Race with all of our queens together. The two eliminated queens got to come back, and I will say I appreciate that very much because one sample size, in my opinion, is never enough to judge these queens. And interesting to see both of our queens that went home are still here after week three, and neither of them had to lip sync for their life. Orion did land in the bottom, but I'm not sure I agree with that. So yeah, just like they showed that they both deserved to be here and deserved their second chance. So let's talk about the episode. First off, we got our twist for the season, and that is the last chance chocolate bars. Like, I don't know what to call them. Everybody was given a chocolate bar. Just seems like a silly way to do this twist. Like, who wants to carry that chocolate bar around with them? Like, why not give them a lipstick or who knows? Just whatever. Like some easier way to handle it. But anyways, glad that they're doing that. I think it will be interesting. Every season we see usually at least 1 week where Rue decides no one's going home. And that probably doesn't happen this season. And depending on when or how the golden chocolate bar is revealed, could drastically change the season. Not sure yet if I like this more than Rue just, knowing that 1 week she can just go, no, nobody goes home, because it will inevitably be a week this season where no one should go home. Let's get into our challenge. This one, I always find these the hardest to critique because especially this week, it's a ball, so each queen's going to go down the runway in 3 looks, but not everyone is doing the same 3 looks. Felt a little weird to me. One group was doing an animal print ball, while the other group is doing a red, white, and blue, and I would have much more appreciated just everyone doing the same 3 looks. Like, just give us the animal prints or just give us the red, white, and blue, because one, it's not equivalent. When we got to the actual gowns that they made, the bridal gowns that they made, the red, white, and blues were way better than the animal prints. And really, it's just because the animal print and bridal just doesn't go together. So I don't know, weird feel for me. But anyways, let's get into what actually happened in this challenge. First off, we have, I think it was Daya Betty with possibly the line of the season, and that was, "I eat ass, you guys. I can eat a bug." That might be one of the most iconic moments in all of RuPaul. Right moments before Daya Betty just absolutely annihilates not a grasshopper, a dragonfly, for apparently $1,000 from Cornbread. Not sure if you could have a million different lives in a million different universes and never have that line uttered ever again. Pretty incredible. Another thing I wanted to talk about was Willow, and I really felt bad for Willow during the sewing. You could see, not that Willow was struggling, Willow was in pain, and appreciated the interaction there with Cornbread. Cornbread coming over to help out Willow. Got Willow a warm cup to help warm Willow's hands up. Just a nice gesture, and that's something we're seeing from Cornbread already. Cornbread's the loving mother of this group, and later on, while they were getting ready, we saw Cornbread break down a little bit, talking about basically not being loved or accepted. growing up, having to move out in high school, and then here Cornbread is on RuPaul's Drag Race, like being that loving mother that maybe she never had. Loved seeing that and loved hearing that. Just kind of shows you what each of these queens had to go through to get to where they are in life. And, in my opinion, just helps me connect a little bit more with each and every one of them. All right, let's get into the actual maxi challenge. This is not going to be my best critique here because we were just getting slammed with look, new category, look, new category all over the map. My opinion probably varies the most from the judges in this kind of challenge, largely because I don't do fashion. I'm just some dude sitting here in my house. Like, fashion, not my forte, not as easy for me to pick up, what's gone well, what's not, versus some of the other challenges, which I think are usually a little more obvious. All right, so first category, zebra print resort. I think Bosco was probably my favorite from this category. It was that neck all the way to toe, kind of like sheer lacy, or not lacy, that sheer zebra fabric. And it was my favorite just because every other look just felt like a pretty basic look in zebra print. And, that's not what I'm here for. I don't want to just see basic with one color change. That doesn't quite do it for me. So I like Bosco's. Willow ends up being one of the outs at the end. But for me, that was just, a pretty basic look with some zebra print. So yeah, next category, Red Hot Resort. I thought this was probably the most boring category of the whole night. There just wasn't much going on here. Everybody just had some red on, and that was about it, especially for a resort where it ends up everybody just kind of being in sort of a bathing suit and a little red shawl, and that's about it. Not that it was bad. It just, nobody really ends up standing out in that category. Next up, we have leopard evening wear. I liked Alyssa Hunter. Thought overall this category was good, except for June, who really struggled with the runway. It was not a good look for June, and that bled into June's next walk down the runway, which was also pretty messy, and honestly just felt bad for June through these 2 second looks for her. Next up, we have evening wear. White gotta be white. You got to feel bad for Deja Sky. Angeria comes out, has that like totally luxe white pantsuit, was absolutely beautiful, drop dead gorgeous. And then Deja comes out in a very similar idea right after Angeria. Not that Deja's was bad, it's just Angeria's was so good that Deja's just absolutely paled in comparison. And honestly, Deja probably could have slid into the bottom this week, in my opinion. Was probably pretty lucky to land in that safe zone. Maddie, the moon suit didn't do it for me. Kind of a good idea, just the execution just wasn't there, in my opinion. And as we all know now, ends up landing Maddie in the bottom. Animal print bridal. Willow, the makeup and hair was the best that we have seen from Willow all season, and showed us that Willow's not just going to be that same kind of quirky one note, that she can step it up and really bring it. And I like seeing that. I like seeing that there's more than one dimension to each of these queens, and in my opinion, that's what we saw from Willow tonight, especially with this runway. Orion, Carrie, this was not your day. This was probably the worst. Carrie had the worst look. I think out of everyone, out of the looks that they made, it was bad. Like if you watched Untuck and like actually getting a good look of what Carrie was wearing in Untucked, it was real bad. And honestly, Carrie is lucky to not land in the bottom this week. The only thing going for her, I think, was the other looks were strong enough, and the people who ended up in the very bottom, they deserve to be in the very bottom this week. So, yeah, what else? Orion, I liked Orion's, and my notes, Orion's was good. Not spectacular or anything, but the judges did not agree with that. June's walk, very rough once again. You could see the previous runway was still hanging on her, did not help her at all. If she had just come out with some confidence, it might have even been enough to save her this week, but she did not, and those two bad runways land her in the bottom. Let's move on to red, white, and blue bridal couture. First off, this category was way better than the animal print equivalent by a vast, vast margin. I thought everyone did a very solid job in this category. Angeria was incredible. That did not look something that she threw together in a day. That was, I think any other queen would be happy wearing that on any runway, not just like the, hey, look what I made in 3 hours runway. I also like Jasmine's. Hers really stood out to me, as well as Camden. And I don't really think either of them got much credit on the show for how good their looks ended up being. But with that said, this category was phenomenal. Everybody really brought it for the red, white, and blue. And when everyone's a standout, there has to be people that you end up not giving credit to when it comes to the end of the night. So our tops for the week end up being Willow, Angeria, and Georges. I'm not sure I agree with Georges. They said the red was a standout for Georges. I disagree. Felt very basic to me. She sold it absolutely, but overall, that's not worthy of being the top. And the third look, which she got praised for, totally missed the mark on it being bridal, because it was 0% bridal. She was just doing what she thought would look good, and it did look good. But you can't reward someone for not doing the tasks that you asked them. Bottoms, Orion Story, don't disagree here. They were getting pretty critical of very minute details, and just felt awkward to me, because June and Maddie, they earned those spots in the bottom. Orion did not. June, the two disaster runways, of course that's going to land you in the bottom. You can't whiff on 2 out of 3 of the assignments and stay safe. Metamorphosis was just, I would say, weak in all 3 categories. That's well deserving of the bottom. So Willow ends up getting the win. I thought this was definitely neck and neck between Willow and Angeria. I probably would have given it to Angeria if I was judging. I loved all 3 of her looks, with Willow as a close second, but nice to see Willow get the win. The lip sync, Maddie and June end up lip syncing, and let's be clear, June was better. June was more entertaining, but you can't just strip. It's not like, you don't go to see a drag show to watch people strip, and not like June, she was getting rid of hair. She was getting rid of 90% of her outfit. The shoes came off. Maddie almost trips on the skirt and shoes while Maddie's trying to perform. I kind of think it's disrespectful to the other person that you're performing with to have your shoes just thrown right where they're performing. Maddie shouldn't be expected to be looking down and trying to figure out how to dodge all of the article of June's clothing while she performs. And, you know, even in the Untucked, we saw the little letter from Cornbread to June. And even Cornbread said, like, don't take your shoes off. Like in the future, don't take your shoes off. Keep your shoes on. And yeah, if the shoes stay on, might have been enough to keep June there another week, but they didn't. So June ends up being our first real contestant to go home. Little note on Untucked, not going to go into it too much this week. Wow, was everyone petty this week? You know, we had the middle queens in there all complaining about, oh, I should have been top. I should have been this. I should have been that. And, you know, it's week 3. It's your first real week of the show, and you're safe and already complaining about not getting critiques. You know, if you get stuck safe 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row, then I understand you complaining a little bit and really craving to get that critique from RuPaul and the other judges. But right now, felt very petty and a little disrespectful to the other queens who did end up in the tops and bottoms. All right, that's going to wrap things up for me this week. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back again next week. Hopefully, you don't have to hear me critique some more fashion, but until then, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.